I thought you were 10.
You know, when we had the 2007 reunion of the 1957 Tour Glee Club, I was so whelmed by how well, I mean, it was like yesterday, how they sang, and I was so whelmed by it that I rehearsed the bejesus out of them. You know, because they were already there, right there from the beginning of the morning, and so I had to make it better. Of course, that wasn't the point at all, and I overachieved. And by the evening, their voices were pretty tired. That's not going to happen today, because the important thing isn't how beautifully we get it to sound, but that we're singing it all. The important thing is we're here. You have to sing. You know, I've had a blessed life, and a large part of that blessing were those 13 years at Cal. And it was so funny because I complained so much. I don't think I complained in rehearsals or to you guys, but I did a lot of complaining. And some of it was justified, but the compensating factor was working with you and the ladies and your predecessors, and as it turned out, you didn't have any followers because you were the last guys. And it was such a joy working with you that I think of all my life experiences, this was the most gratifying. And sure, I wrote 10,000 bylines for the Chronicle. 10,000 bylines. Wow. And that was a wonderful experience. And those were golden years too, but so differently because I was just writing letters. I wrote 10,000 letters. And it's not the same as having the experience of dealing with the likes of you. And many people came up to me, the singers that I've been privileged to work with, and many people have come up and told me how that experience changed their lives and how deeply it affected their lives. And it wasn't me, it was what we did together, and it was the music that we sang and what we shared, because I was sharing it with you, and I was just privileged to be the one that was leading the way. And so I was one of many, but I just happened to be in a different position in relationship to you. And it was a special time. And I'll never forget it, and it meant a great deal to me. And when I had to leave, and I really had to leave because in good conscience I couldn't stay on with the situation I was presented with, and it was not something that I could accept. And so when I left without a job, and with 2 little children and a wife to support, it was a big gamble, I suppose, but I had to do it. Inside, I knew, I sensed what was happening at Cal in the year or 2 before. When you were there, I knew things were changing. I knew things were changing and not for the better. And I heard enough complaints and rumblings from your colleague, from your counterparts and associates, and from maybe some of you, that I knew things were changing. But, and some instinct told me to get the hell out of there too. And good that I had, because if I had stayed, I could not have done what, I found what we had together. And I don't mean better singing or worse singing or anything comparable under the circumstances that immediately followed your graduation. So it was the factors that caused me to get out of there that I felt so angry about for many years were a blessing. I was blessed to leave, and I was told to leave. from whether it's from it, however you want to think of it, if you're a religious person or from an inner spirit. And all my life I've been told what to do. And I made the right decision. Made the right decisions in spite of myself. And that is the absolute truth. And if I were to tell you the anecdotes, the stories of my life, and maybe later when we take a break, I'll tell you some of these miraculous things that happened to me. And I mean that. It's listening to the inner voice or the outer voice. I don't know what it is. So I left with nothing on my plate. I used up my pension to live on for the several months, for 6, 7 months, and blew it. And over the transom, a telephone call out of the blue got me the job at the Chronicle. And it was, again, a voice. It was a voice. And so maybe I was being repaid for the few things that I had done, for the little good that I had done. And then that was my life from then on. And so, but with all of that, I treasured the 13 years at Cal, and I treasure the last Glee Club I had, that is you guys, which was in every respect, from, I mean, vocally and everything, was certainly the best. Nothing ever, well, the Japan Glee Club was great, but it was different. It wasn't less good, it was different. When I look today at the repertoire we sang and think of 40 concerts in 8 weeks, I'm sure there's never been an American college group in an international tour that sang as much, as often as you did, or even sang a comparable repertoire. So that was such an enormous gratification, I'll never forget it. And I thank each one of you. I thank the men who aren't with us, either because they left for good or because they just couldn't make it today, because they were all part of my life, and we treasure you. So when we're singing today, we're singing for those guys too, and wish they could be here. It was something special. Now let's warm up a little bit. Can we start on a little